All right, good morning. Let's call the Monday, August 18th meeting, the Tourism Arts Commission, to order. We have most of the folks here, one on their way. We'll call the meeting to order, and first on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody in the rooms for public comment? And nobody in the chairs for public comment, so. Gonna be light on public comment. Then the second order of business would be the approval of the minutes from the June 24th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. I second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor of approving?
Aye.
Aye.
Jackie said, I saw her
Thanks
mouth.
for that.
She said,
I did. I will say it did mention my name twice on being there, and I'm good, but I'm not that good. On the
So-
people there, so I don't know. Is that
You
big?
weren't? I thought you were.
Well, then we should probably amend that if you were not there.
Well, not an approved, So too.
We have were you on Zoom though?
No,
So
no, I was in person.
it does say you were in person.
Yeah, twice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you have Jackie listed
Yeah.
twice on the in person. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay. Like, man, I started to question my own memory.
Yeah.
I put a single she's in the room. Okay. Huh?
So we have the motion to approve the minutes. And voted, so that was approved, all right? Oh, thank you. We figured we'd gone there.
Yeah. Is Libby coming?
No,
No.
I'll take hers, I guess. I mean, I usually look at her.
Okay.
Might be a short meeting.
Yeah, this might be, so we approve the minutes from the June 24th,
Make a motion to adjourn.
third item on the order of business is community input.
So I wanted to share, I got the flyer from Greg. I did post it on the two post offices locations. I'm gonna have Rusty put it on Facebook. I did send it to the chamber to include in the newsletter, but I didn't see it, so I think I must have missed the latest edition. But we'll start getting that dispersed better. It was kind of one of those.
Yeah.
Quick things,
It's
so.
already removed from the post office. I saw it there and then when I went back, it was gone.
Okay,
The fun one, the boring one is there. But the fun one that Greg did, it was, the announcement one, it's gone.
it's on, okay, well, which post office? The young one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we will,
Remember black.
repost. Repost that, that's a bummer, because there's no, it's not a timely.
I don't know if they thought it was like somebody just put something up there, because they're real picky about what goes up there, but maybe they didn't notice that it was actually for a nonprofit and because it had a sense of humor. So you may want to mention it to Rachel when you put it up. It's like, please don't take this down. It's actually for, yeah, for the city.
Yeah. That does.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
On the community input, I had someone approach me, and this isn't necessarily for the spending aspect of things, but it is for TAC overall. They inquired if there was a process or a way in which that we, would somehow survey the community of how they think the funding is going. So for example, once we come out like last month with here's what we're gonna fund for the year, whatever the time frame is there a method in which the city could do an online survey or a survey that goes out to your water bill or whatever? What do you think of how these are being spent, or,
And we actually talked about that a while ago, maybe a year or two ago.
Must have been, maybe it was while I was gone.
Were you? Can't remember who was on, we actually talked about doing a survey to see how the community thought the funds should be spent. And we never really got past that, but that's definitely something we can do. I think we even talked that actually, that the cost of the survey can actually come out of the tax funds too, so we could actually do something where Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know you know, the process to get that started, or maybe we should discuss and look into it at some point in time. But it did, you know, kind of raise my eyebrows. I think it'd be interesting to see what people had to say. You know, I don't know if John Q. Public understands that you know, Coaster gets 50,000 a year from this committee on average, you know, or that the chamber gets X amount, or that the various arts programs get X amount, and just to get their feedback would be of interest.
Yeah,
So I kind of like the idea, but I also suggest we don't jump in too quickly.
Yeah.
And I would like to start with just a statement that says, what is it exactly we want to learn? So that we can structure this survey to be not just an open-ended, what do you think?
Especially since I bet you half people don't understand that these are restricted funds.
Yeah, you're gonna get all the gripes and all the, you know.
Yeah,
the big
that's
picture.
part of it too. I mean, how much do we need to educate people? I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a significant percentage of the population that doesn't even know we exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let alone what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how much do we need to educate people so we can get meaningful input out of that? I mean, I think
Yeah,
we need to take that into consideration before we do it. So I'm not trying to throw cold water on it. I just want to make sure that it's gonna do it. Let's make it worthwhile.
yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%. And
And maybe before doing it, the education part could be an article in the Gazette. I mean, it only comes out once a year, I mean, once a month, but, that might be something, I don't know.
Yeah, look at that.
I don't know, I worry about surveys because I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not sure what it's gonna tell us, but I understand, I mean, yeah, you wanna know, are people on board with, you know, or do we think, no, yeah, no, the chamber shouldn't be getting any money, or the coaster shouldn't be getting any money, or whatever.
and I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but I think, you know, you're gonna have the things like the activities and events, which historically for the last decade and a half have been what these funds are. And then you talk to someone like, oh, also there's a good chunk of change for the Midtown bathrooms. And do you know that? You're gonna get different responses on both, so.
Yeah.
I think education is
People
huge.
are saying, gotta be spending money on human services, not on arts. Well, it's not an option.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Do it, that's what concerns me the most, because there's a lot of, just do not understand the restricted funds. They just don't get it, no matter how much you try to tell them it's, you know, state law and blah, 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 well, but we should be doing, and it's like, okay, should is fine, but go talk to Salem
Yeah,
then.
go to Salem and have a conversation.
Go talk to Salem.
So in terms of the community input, I just wanted, someone shared that with me, I wanted to share it. And maybe we should put that on a future agenda item to talk in more detail, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I had heard that someone was on the rampage, and you can guess who, about the public art policy. That's, well, she's going around saying we're requiring them to not be in a gallery, which of course is not true.
I was gonna bring this up too.
Yeah. I was waiting to get this piece of paper because it does say encourage artists who are not currently showing in a Cannon Beach gallery.
Yeah.
Just so we're all clear that that is the wording and not that we're not looking for only artists that are not currently showing in a gallery.
I feel like we should maybe change it.
I thought we were gonna take that out.
Oh, okay.
Decided to take that out.
I think the reason that we had that in originally was like, oh, you don't have, because it's trying to bring artists from all levels of the career outside of Cannon Beach too.
I thought it was that we were concerned that artists who were not showing in a gallery would think, oh, I can't have that. And you guys
It
haven't.
was also addressing an issue that had been brought up before about ballot stuffing.
Yeah.
And I think, as I thought about it, I realized we can solve that issue by saying that the ballot gets at best one vote. We get all the rest of the votes.
Oh, I didn't know we
So-
were going out to the public.
Well,
for
we
voting.
might not, but if we do, if we decide to do that, then we could just, put in here that input from the public gives one vote.
I'm not even concerned, I'm concerned about
We don't
how,
have a vote. Like, we could just have a committee. So
and my concern is the wording about galleries.
I would take that out, in my opinion, just, and I wrote it, just encourage artists at all levels in their career. Or, and maybe.
I mean, you guys are the
Yeah,
artists, so if you don't feel like there's artists that are not in a gallery that would feel uncomfortable pitching their art to be public, if that's not the case, then take it out.
A lot of public artists don't even show it, they just do public art.
It's fine with me,
Yeah, I'd say just take it out.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I've just heard I'm sure that you heard it more
Location.
than. Okay.
So,
So we're moving that, third point, when purchasing public art, the city will use the following guidelines.
are we formally striking that out of this?
Yeah, this whole thing needs some work on it, so. Cause we got some input from Ashley, there's some
Yeah.
thinking and legal issues with it, but what about, yeah, this, I don't remember.
Oh, I thought we could address those, no? I thought this was official.
Well, we do on the agenda today have the public art policy, so we have time to
Okay.
discuss that in detail.
Yeah, this is, yeah, get into it.
And the back page has Ashley's notes on it.
Yeah, it's there. So from an agenda perspective, for those following at home, unless there's any more,
Sorry.
community input. And it doesn't look like we have, anyway, Bruce, the only one in the chair, do you have anything to add? Then, from an agenda standpoint, we're on number 4, which is review of the 25-26 TAF cycle. And that's also in our packet with the variable dates, deadlines, and I thought there was a note, well, it's another agenda item to look into the holidays of 2026, so I don't know if we can do that at the same time.
Mhm.
And we put the reviews just to see if there was anything that we wanna make notes of for next year, if we have any concerns, or any questions, just kind of talk about whatever we have concerns from last year to start writing for next year.
This pretty much follows the same format we did last year, or this year.
Well, the timeline does, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't plug in the dates because we're having consistent meetings once a month, so I have to go through and plug in what dates we're gonna meet. But just looking at that quickly, I realized like, oh shoot, you know, the first January, February, the third Monday are holidays, so once we figure out that, I'll go through and plug in dates based on our set meetings. We will still need to have an extra meeting in June for interviews, unless we wanna have a marathon meeting where we would do interviews and then our regular meeting, which would be a lot. And actually, that probably won't work anyways, because we have to make our recommendations too for council.
Right.
For July work session, so.
Why is the timing like that in June? That we have these marathon meetings?
Because, the recommendations get presented to council at the July work session,
Yeah.
and then they go approved in August, and then they get their first payment, I believe, in November. So it's just, you do have a little bit of time to push it back if you wanted to a month, and then do, maybe your interviews at another meeting. It's just because to do the interviews and a regular meeting, you have to have more than one meeting.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like it's hard for everyone, even the people that are applying for it, because it's the timing is so, like, summer, like, I'm. Just an observation, right?
Yeah. I mean, we definitely, we see your guys' programs, we can make changes if you want, it's just kind of how it would end up. But. And we could definitely revamp it, I think. I'm just trying to think of with dispersion dates. But I mean, with advance notice, if everyone knows ahead of time if we're changing it, then I'm just gonna plan accordingly.
Yeah, you can just bring it like all month before that.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Push it back,
trying to think of the wheel here.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree, April and May are very light,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't affect people, I'm just trying to put my thoughts of what if I had to get ready for evaluation or so forth. Would that give me time? But I would like to see it earlier too.
So let's look at, I can look at the schedule and see what month would you like to see the interviews take place? And then I can mess with the schedule accordingly to see how I can make that work.
I would just say even just the month before. Maybe,
May.
yeah,
May light enough, do you think?
yeah, that's what
I mean,
I,
right now, we just have the disbursements, which isn't even really a meeting necessarily. And it just seems, especially, you know, like, just speaking for myself, my June's busier than my May.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Um,
and if we had a situation where we had to like ask questions, come back, things like that, like we did a little bit with like,
secrets.
yeah, Sea Turtles did this year, that gives it, we're not right up against the deadline.
So we have a TAC meeting on May 18th already, next year. So we have that, we could do interviews that day. And move the regular meeting to the Wednesday or whatever, I don't know. Depends on, I mean, it's so hard because we don't know what's gonna be going on, but. And we're so much less restricted because we moved it so we can do these, but we also can take things mid-cycle or out of cycle. It's a little bit more on wheels, it feels like. But there are these events that we need to have meetings with, so.
Does that bumps up the application deadlines too, right?
That would up your application.
Yeah.
You have to write and tell everyone.
So I would have to, I would suggest even, because if we bump it up a month, obviously you're gonna bump it up a month early, but if we were gonna do that, I would probably start emailing people even before that, just to say, FYI, we're
Yes.
just kind of.
Save the date, yes.
And thankfully, we have pretty much, I mean, thankfully, not thankfully, but we have a lot of the same people that they'll know, okay, just need to get my stuff done, but we give them advance notice to plan. And they may appreciate it too, like you said,
I think
it's
so,
plan
yeah.
for a lot of people, and
So we're gonna send the packets out in March?
we would need to send them out in March. Yeah, everything would basically go one on one.
Okay.
Which is definitely doable, especially if we meet more often than, I mean, this is with set meetings, very doable.
Sorry, the only issue that I see is that, because a lot of the things that we're funding are on off season, so, like the Fat Bike Festival is mid that month. So I just don't know if people are gonna be busy with those things. That's the only problem I can see. I think is there another one that's in,
Oh, get lit.
Give it, right, you know, end of April-ish.
But that's why they have a year's notice.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, Fat Bike's the only one. In fact, I think that Monday meeting might be, I don't know when Fat Bike is, next year, but,
Yeah.
that might actually be the Monday after the event. I can't remember when Fat Bike is happening next year. But it's not like we've always had that issue with some of them bumping up next to when the meetings are,
Yeah.
so. I think it's worth a try.
Well, I'll bring back a schedule next month that shows what the dates would look like based off of our existing meetings, and then where we would need a special meeting, I'll just leave it with the next, like, interview, and then we can look at schedules and kind of see what works best.
You want us to look at the January and February meetings now for 2026 and move them?
Yeah, well, yeah, we do, because we have to move them no matter what. So we can look and see. I can only look, I just realized something about the chamber of commerce. Oh, yeah, I need to do it. So I can look and see what's available for the chamber hall in January and February.
Okay,
So if we wanted to move it maybe up a week or back a week or different days.
it seems like moving it up a week is probably not gonna be that productive since we're coming out of the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if it should be the 26th instead of the 19th. And what does that do for? President's Day is pretty early.
And the 26th is available, the chamber is available, so.
Okay, so we'll just move the TAC meeting from the 19th. So add it to the 26th.
And then
And then,
February, go to the 23rd.
right, that would make sense, and
That's a
I'm
week
looking
and a
at it.
half after the holiday, so it obviously takes you a while to recover from your celebration.
Not the celebration, but I just wonder if anybody's gonna have anything to say. Celebration. 16th moves to the 23rd. On February.
If that's available also.
Oh, good, okay. Perfect. Well, that's done, see, for this event only, yeehaw, so that's done. That was easy. Do we have the same problem in September? Oh, no, it's Labor Day. We got asked. The council asked the question about the chamber not turning in some of their stuff on time. It's fuzzy in my memory, so bear with me. And that they said for the community grants, that you do not get considered if you miss the deadline, period. You probably remember, you were in all those meetings, Jennifer.
Yeah, so with community grants, they turn in their evaluations kind of like other people turn in evaluations, you know, kind of on time, but sometimes not. But community grants, if you do not turn in your evaluation with your application, then that's like, they're gonna be cut and dry. Like, if you miss anything, you're out. I don't know, back when I was doing it, we never were super diligent on the evaluations, because they have to turn them in within 30 days of completion. Some people did, some people didn't, but they always turn in their evaluation with their next application. But they are very kind of dry about it. But yeah, they did, that was one of the questions that got brought up, they were questioning the things being submitted on time. Which not everyone does do it on time. Most people do. You try to send reminders and just say, hey, don't forget, there's also an agreement, they know what things are
That's
due.
right.
Yeah.
I know, we got asked the question, and I thought, if community grants are being hardcore, do we wanna be more hardcore? I don't know. Does it matter to anybody?
And I could have a more forceful reminder email. Instead of mine usually like, hey, don't forget, this is due. I mean, when people do ask me like, hey, I'm not done or I'm not prepared, I have my event, what do I do? I said, you turn in an evaluation that is planned event.
Yeah.
You have to turn something in.
I think the question is if everybody did it late, would that be upsetting? So if everybody did it late, it'd probably be upsetting. So then don't make
What
an
if
exception.
somebody is, I mean, we'll take the chamber for an example, I'm
Yeah.
not saying this happened, but what if they're always late? And
Then-
only one
then-
person,
Then that's called negative reinforcement. You don't get it.
that's why I'm saying, should we be harder core?
I'm new again, but like, if everybody was always late, it would probably upset everybody. So, yeah, we have to like, I would say probably. I mean, the dates are there,
Mhm.
like,
And they
it's
have
not,
to- they have it.
you have plenty of time to do it.
I mean, it's one thing to not have the event, we've dealt with that before, and it's like, then you just say that in your evaluation, the event hasn't happened yet, here's what we've done so far. That's an easy one, but it's when, you know, the event has been 2 weeks ago and it's time for your application. I don't know,
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking for $20,000, it shouldn't be a Hail Mary last minute thing.
and you've had the dates for a year.
Yeah. I don't even feel like that's hardcore, that's just the rules.
Right.
I would agree. I think that if they're supposed to have something in within 30 days of the event, then they should have it in within 30 days of the event. That's,
And I have one over here that says, oh, I turned it in, and I'm like, no, you didn't, you sent in a new application that happened to include it, you still need to submit your evaluation as part of your contract agreements. And then you have to include a copy in your
In your
next
app, whatever.
application, those are two completely separate packets and records. And I don't go through and review people's packets and pull out their e-docs, so you have to, even if the timing is the same, you still have to submit the two separate
Right.
accounts, because one goes here, one goes there.
I would get it too, if we were getting tons of new people, that it is pretty much always the same, and at this point, everybody, I knows. So, I mean, if it was like somebody new and you're like, oh, you screwed up, you didn't do something, then, but it's the same people over and over again, that kind of, I don't know.
I feel like they've had the dates for a year.
And you guys can be more harsh, you can say, hey, you know what, we received your grant evaluation, or we received your application this year, you did not turn in your eval on time last year, or whatever the reason, and it's up to you guys how you cannot fund it, you can fund it partially, I mean, you guys really, it's up to you, Ashley will, or say, it's your grant, we'll weigh in on her, obviously, but, you know, it really is up to you guys as a commission. Community grants will not accept a late application through. Like, no excuse, it doesn't matter, even if you're an hour late, they're not. This commission, years ago, there was some late submittals, and the commission voted on accepting. Them. You know, there was a computer issue, but it's really up to you guys on how you want to do it.
How does the community grant committee communicate that to people? Is it in black and white on their submission that if 1 minute past midnight, you're done?
No, they just said this is your deadline, and they have always
Stuck.
adhered to that deadline. Yeah, when I first started here, it was in July of like 2012, and they were finishing up their process. There was a person who had tried to email the application in, they said no emails were accepted. But she kept saying, I turned it in on time, and, but she was late, and it got hung up in the server, and, they did not put her, they were like, no, but if you were late. There's been a couple other times where, the deadline's, I think, 2:00. And somebody submitted at 5, and it was a program that they funded every single year, and they just said, I'm sorry, we're not gonna fund you, and you know that person that would have late again.
Yeah.
But they're also talking about a much different sum of money than you guys are. Not that that matters, and rules are still the rules, but you know, some of these functions wouldn't even be able to function without that, but they know community grants will not, there's zero, you can't be late. I would say everyone turns their applications on time now, but yeah, I mean, there was that, we had a late one, and that was it, everyone else is pretty much on time.
I mean, I'm just curious if within the application, it said, here's our policy for tardiness or missing deadlines and say what that is.
Yeah, I don't think, it may have a thing that the late application on, because I don't remember, I just remember it was kind of like her, I was very much like, here's the deadline. This is the date, this is the time.
Like for applications, it makes sense that those have to be in on time. I'm thinking that 30 days. I keep kind of in my mind going around in circles on this, it's kind of like, yeah. How critical is it to us or to anybody else if it comes in 31 or 32 days? Yeah, does it really make a difference? You know, but then it's like, you gotta draw a line someplace, I suppose, in the sand. You know, you could always just sit down and say, well, you know, if you don't get it in on time, then next year we're gonna discount your grant by 10%. Application by 10%.
I feel different about the eval
Some
than the
organizations
application.
that just aren't gonna survive, if we don't fund them, and I don't wanna
Oh,
kill
yeah,
anyone,
for sure.
Yeah.
you know,
But
but.
I do agree that the evals are one thing, the application itself. And
The application needs to be on time.
that needs to be on time, because that does seem, but particularly since we have whatever a week, whatever Jennifer gives us to read them. And then we come to our meeting and talk about it. So I don't know, it seems to me like the applications to be hardcore on. And the evals give some grace of a day or two.
Real quick, just on that note, this year was a little crammed, it was my fault, so I do apologize, just, you know, Michelle, normally it's not quite this crammed, I just thought about that when you were saying. I dropped the ball with the move, I got a little behind on things, so normally we aren't quite as crammed.
Yeah.
You still have those meetings, but you normally have a little bit more time to review it.
Yeah.
When Julie said that, I was like, oh yeah, I see it, but it was
Jennifer,
a lot.
You're already a superwoman.
Oh my God. But it's true, because you guys have a lot to review in this short period of time, but normally you do have more time.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as bad.
I think we should be hardcore with the application date. And time, whatever that is, 5 o'clock on a Friday or whatever you do, be given to, that seems like that is the place to be pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I'm okay with that on the application. I do think the evaluation is a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables, life happens,
Mhm.
who knows? And to your point, nothing's gonna stop if we miss it by 24 hours. So. But if you're asking for a big chunk of change, then I think it's important to be on time, and that should be the evaluation or the application.
But I don't know if I would publish the fact that, well, you know, if you're
Yeah,
day late, you know, because all that's gonna do is push that back in everybody's mind by one day, so. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
well, it won't push back the application.
Or
And
just,
that's where we would have a time crunch because we have to read all that stuff.
You know, one thing-
Read the emails too, but they're just, it's not as critical. It may be critical if there's something that happens 2 weeks before and the eval isn't in yet, and we have the interview for the next year. That application better be in.
and I don't know how you word it, but in my mind, something like, deadlines for the application are set in stone or
Yep.
hardcore or whatever you want to say. Subsequent deadlines are subject to the committee or something like, maybe not want to say that because that does get the leash,
Yeah, exactly.
But
I definitely say on the application that this is, no late applications will be accepted. Period.
as a professional procrastinator, I really like to know what my.
Exactly.
And then I can manage to that.
And you have a year of the date. I mean, once this gets published, it's like, come
Yeah,
on, you have a year.
And we can do something next to where we talk about the evaluations in the application, so they know what's expected, because they failure to meet these evaluation deadlines could impact your parental board. I mean,
We could say that.
we could be a little bit, just not saying you're going to, but it could.
Does everybody always turn in a midterm one? Because I noticed the check mark on it, and like, everybody turns in a midterm.
They're pretty good at turning in their terms, yeah. I think there may be one group that sometimes is a bit later. But I think for the most
I
part.
didn't even know that was a thing, I was like, oh, there's a check mark, I was like, oh.
So in the agreement that they're trying to get funds, it says in there that they need to give us an evaluation within 30 days at the end of it, right?
Yes.
Or you put a line in there that makes an initial. So that it really highlights it. I mean, it's just a soft core type of a way of making it really clear, because I can see where somebody could read over that or not even think about it, or maybe not even read that,
Well, and
I can see where people just sign this thing and never even read it, but at least. Then they can't sit down and go, well, I didn't know about it or something.
Well, the chambers packets, nobody initialed any of the things that were supposed to be initialed.
Yeah.
And it's like, so did we consider that incomplete?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, it's a legal document, right? That'd be something.
yeah, I was like, did you turn in the?
yeah, because they have to sign receipt of tourism or spending grant, but I could make a checkbox that says. Please initial verify the following items have been included. You have, please initial acknowledge the receipt of the following documents. There's check marks for those. And then it says, please initial verify the following items have been included. We can add something about adhering to the deadlines. We can definitely. I was looking to see, oh, here we go. The application says where they sign. I understand that this happening be awarded to me by the city of Kansas, that should happen and be awarded to me. I expected to sign a TAP award agreement and complete a summary report evaluation form provided by the city within 30 days of completion of the project event program, or at the end of the fiscal year, whichever occurs first. Further, I understand I will be expected to provide a midterm evaluation by March 15, 2026. By signing this application, I certify that the facts, figures, and representations made in this application are true and correct, So it is in that acknowledgement, but maybe we added the second spot just to say, not only did you sign it, you also checked it. Cause it is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the assumption people read it.
Well, that's why I think in both places you have even more. But if you're, they can check and sign, like you said, they don't need it, but it's also, this is PAC and community grants are probably the easiest grants anybody will ever get in their life.
Check box. I've initialed, but I initialed everybody.
Okay,
Can I quick circle back? So you want to work on the public statement, the policy?
Yeah.
Public, so how do we do that? So just like go do our notes and come back or?
Yeah, I'll just work on it and then I'll make sure it's in the package for the next meeting.
Okay, can I?
Yeah.
Can I send notes too? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to touch input on this, I don't want to. It's not intended to be me, I'm just.
I don't know, you-
So what I'm not clear on is, once we get a document that we agree says what we want it to say, does this now go to the city council to be adopted as a formal policy, or is it a, you know, what exactly are we gonna end up with here? That's never been clear in my mind.
You would wanna go to council with a resolution and have them adopted as a formal policy.
Okay.
Because then you have a tracking record that it's a policy, council has agreed to it, it's on the resolution.
Is it coming from outside?
Yeah, because then you have council blessing, it's a city policy that is a standard policy.
Okay, so I guess the next question then, does the city have a standard format for their policy statement?
No. Parks did a commemorative policy not that, well, a couple of years ago, they just had it pulled up the other day. And resolutions have a standard form of whereas clauses, and then this one said, you know, we are adopting the policy exhibit A, and it just basically listed out what it was they wanted. They were saying, you know, we're not, our only commemorative option is commemorative plaques. If you do want a tree, a memorial tree for someone, you can actually donate a tree, but we're not gonna do a plaque. It just kind of goes through all of those scenarios and explains it, and it's just, you know, regular document.
Okay.
But the resolution is what standardizes it, and then the policy is the.
Okay.
And that memorializes it because it's on our website, people can see it, they can see that it went through council, it makes it like an official policy.
You're like a human Google.
She is a human Google. She's superwoman.
okay, so. Well, that was a discussion on part of our policy, but if I'm clear there, then you're gonna. Massage it a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll get it polished up a little bit, and if anybody wants to send me input,
please do, yeah. Do we need to have any other discussion on the specifics of the art policy today?
Okay, I don't know if this, I don't wanna make a big, it's not a big deal, but I'm just wondering, so we have a policy. How does somebody decide, does somebody just, an artist come in and say, hey, I have this piece, I think you would look great over here? Or do we say, hey, you know what needs some art is right back here? Do then we do an RFP?
Like.
But do we do an RFP and go out with this policy? Or does it just, I mean, how does this get? How do we start buying public art? Do we initiate? Does the artist initiate?
It depends on how you guys wanna do. So we can do a call for artists, if you have a specific thing that you wanna place at a certain location, we would work with Public Works, Bruce, everybody would get together and say, it would have to be a collaborative thing, like, hey, you really want a piece of art in this location? You can do a call for artists, we can have it where the flyer that we put out, you know, give us your input, if somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm an artist, I think this would be great here, then you can explore it that way. So you have a lot of options as far as the next steps.
How did you see it? Since you were the impetus for this.
yeah, I was thinking that it would be more our decision that there's a piece of art that we would like to have located in such and such a place, and give some parameters around it. Like this bike rack thing, which I'll talk about.
Right.
If a good order falls into that category,
Yeah.
and we would put a call out to artists. Yeah, and just,
So we would
Just be urban, not functional.
Pardon?
Could it just be art or not functional?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. He was just saying, that's a separate thing. That was what Jenny brought up a couple.
But that will have to be one that is functional.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be non-functional.
So it would be started by us.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, there's this place. Art there would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's all I wanted to know was,
But I think we could also leave the door open. I mean, if an artist walks in here under public comments and says, hey, I got an idea for a piece that would look really good at such and such a place, I mean, it's not saying no. I'll do it
for
that
sure,
way.
absolutely. Okay, all right. I just wanted to know how you were
So I think
envisioning
what
that.
we would say, but
Be
I think
implemented.
most of the time it's gonna be, we're going to initiate it,
Okay.
or maybe it's input from the public. Maybe somebody, just walks in here one day and says, I'd sure like to see a piece of such and such a place.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about suggestion?
Pardon?
I was gonna make a suggestion. Did you take suggestion?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. And because we're on wheels now and it's not a dead, we have to have it by May. We can do that at any time. But the idea is if we have the policy, do we start it? I mean, yes, it could be started by public comment, but we could start it by saying, the end of something or other, we need to have something, we can do a call for art. That's all I wanted to know. Okay,
I imagine when they not break ground, but open the doors on the new city hall, they'll be like, we should probably have a piece of something here. And,
well, we should probably be out ahead of that, except for, we know what it looks like. You have the plans for it.
Yeah, we should do, and that's.
We should be out ahead of that. When are you supposed to finish? Next July?
August.
Next August at City Hall. What about the police station?
April.
I don't know if there needs to be art outside the police station or not, but the City Hall for sure.
A lot of public.
yeah,
No, it's not. You're right.
Yeah.
Of course, we noticed from the road, it would be huge.
Yeah.
Or
The
being,
hammering man like in Seattle.
or being arrested.
Yeah.
So we should be out ahead of, we should do a call for art and we said next August, like January, the City Hall.
We should
Well,
discuss
okay,
it.
yeah.
Before we
I was
just-
I was just throwing out an idea.
So that ties into the bike rack thing,
Okay,
Okay,
okay? So if you don't mind jumping into that,
Yeah.
okay? So I just started doing some informal research on this, and what I will tell you is the city has done a great job of providing bike racks. There's one right over here, a big one, there's another one over here, so this park is covered. There's one, over by Mariner Market.
well,
There's
there's
another one that I saw some of these are kind of hidden admittedly, but they're there, yeah. There's one that's in front of Demas, at the corner of, what's that, Third and Hemlock, right there. And it's a one hump type of a one, which is the smallest of the bunch. And it's also the one that I've noticed gets used the most. So, I mean, one of my suggestions, and this isn't an artist thing, but just, the city might consider changing that to a bigger, like a 3 hump or something like that, because I've seen that one used the most. So there's that. There is one in front of City Hall right now, where it's being built, so Midtown kind of covered. But there are 2 places where I think an artistic piece should go. And the first one is at City Hall. I think it would make a lot of sense to have a bike rack that is artistically designed at City Hall. There's a piece of that. I haven't seen the plans to know exactly the location, but I imagine there's someplace, close to the front door we could put that. The other place that would make sense is just right down at the end of the street here.
What's that?
So, people who are going to the beach and put their bikes someplace and have a nice artistic piece right there. So those are 2 places that I think, we should take a look. And that comes back to this policy type of thing. We agree that one or the other, or both of those, we should consider, and we put a call out to artists. See what they come up with.
And somebody's somebody sent it, was it, you sent, I can't remember if it was the playground material or if it was the bike rack. Maybe it was Ginny that sent out the bike rack company that does the artistic ones. Maybe she just sent it to me. You guys don't remember seeing
That
it?
was that playground stuff, cause I tried to pitch that to the,
Yeah.
parks.
So Ginny must have just sent the company to me. I'll go see if I can find it in my email and send it to you, Jennifer, to get out to everybody. But there were some cool ones. I ran into Patrick, I don't remember the lady's name who does Lisa, Susan and Stephen. They were happened to be at the bank when I was there and I asked them if they would be interested in having a bike rack. They were like, no, well, the only one has room for it is the theater, I guess, in the, what the lots look like. And Patrick was like, I wanna disencourage bikes. And it's like, but what if it was artistic? Like, what if it was drama masks or, and, oh, well, that might be interesting. Because it seems like that could be a place, maybe not in the front of the building, but toward the back, toward the parking lot, might be an interesting place. Maybe it's not needed there, I don't know, but I just happened to run into those three people who were sitting there and it's like, oh, well, you have this nice little courtyard thingy, and it'd be cool if it was something.
Yeah, the
Artistic.
courtyard is sort of dynamic, there's actually three parts to it.
Yeah,
So there's a small part that, Susan's, Suzanne
Yeah.
owns. There's a small part that is part of the wine shack.
Yeah.
And then there's another part that is part of Coaster, so
Yeah.
there's three owners of that little
Yeah.
bit right there, so you kind of have to figure out how to.
and the only one that has room for it apparently is Coaster Theater. Steven
Yeah.
said his lot is right up next to it. You couldn't put it in a place that would be appropriate. So, I don't know.
I feel we'll have to do all the park stuff. I'm gonna maybe be unpopular right now. I feel like designers already design good bike racks. And we could get those bike racks and maybe put art next to it. That doesn't have the constraint of having to fit all sorts of different kinds of bikes. I mean, designers make bike racks. There's a lot already that exists. And bike racks should be bike racks and I don't know.
You don't want them to be artistic? That doesn't sound like you at all. I have to say.
I hate like a like city box that's painted to look like something that's city box, you're supposed to look at it. But, you know, I like encouraging, whatever, but I just feel like there's already bike racks that are really accessible, and easy. I'm not trying to poo-poo something, and I want to support it, but it's just my thought. And looking through all of that park stuff, I was like, there's already amazing bike rack. And then you're basically just relegating the bike rack to be like a metalwork. So, I mean, you can't really make a bike rack out of a bunch of different kinds of materials other than, it can't really be wood, it can't be wood. So,
That would be kind of weird with all that.
yeah. I mean, I don't wanna like poo-poo somebody's idea, great. But. What about art next to the bike rack? Then it like, it includes like more like, oh, a marble worker, or woodworker. I don't know, sorry. It's very sort of, but.
No, that's okay.
Is there one down at Toll on the Wayside? I mean, I know that's state park, so it's not really us, but. I'm.
I think there is, but since it's a state park, I didn't feel.
Right, yeah, you can't do anything about it.
So it'll park, I feel like there
I
is.
do like the orange bench here, by the way, I do.
Yeah,
Like that we moved that.
And what happened to the cutout?
It's down at the wastewater plant, it's all great plant.
I love that cutout.
Oh, everybody, an update real quick for everyone about the Brown screen.
Yeah, it's being installed right now as we speak.
In the old front spot?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
I was shocked, it looks like wood. It looks,
It really does? Oh, man, I'm gonna have to stop one night.
we're installing it right now, so check it
It's
out.
bronze?
Yeah,
That's expensive.
yeah, it was. It was, as a matter of fact. You must have come on after we approved that.
Please go check it out.
We should have are they, oh man, somebody taking pictures? Cause we should give that to the Gazette.
Yeah, we're taking pictures.
Oh, good, okay, cause that's cool.
Ooh, ribbon cutting.
Funded by TAC and city.
So another idea is, I know this opens up a can of worms, but what the heck? What if we try to get an artist to design a sign for the police station? Cause it would be on the road.
That's cute. That's cute.
I'd rather spend that energy on signs for town.
I know.
Maybe we put the whole package together. Try to-
What is what are you planning to do for the police sign? Is, you have like some process that you go and do a sign?
Letters coming on the building.
That's all you were gonna do? I don't know what the process is for putting a,
I don't recall there being a standalone sign.
it's just gonna say Cannon Beach Police on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I wouldn't want to miss too much with the police station,
Mm-mm.
as far as, you know, how far you go with art, as opposed to just being able to know this is a
Yep.
police station.
Yeah, no, I get that.
With the city hall, that.
What, say that?
City hall will be fine,
Yeah.
there's some pretty nice signs up.
That and the entrance signs.
So do we have jurisdiction for the Cannon Beach entrance signs?
Well, we funded, well, we started to fund.
I remember that.
Yes, so we have to work with ODOT to do them. There's a packet about this thing that tells you what you can do and what you can't do. But we are allowed to put up signs that say, welcome to Cannon Beach or whatever.
That seems like an obvious first project.
Yeah, well, it's complicated.
It's just been kicked down the road for years.
So the problem is, we could just go and decide and do signs,
Yeah.
right? But, since this is an artist community, people thought about, wouldn't it be fun to have a competition or a RFP for the signs and artists anywhere or
Yeah.
artists in town? So, once you get into that, then it becomes political.
Well, yeah, because it's like branding for the entire town, and suddenly there's sweatshirts and whatever, so. But
And you're subject to DRB on both or one. You're subject to DRB on at least one.
I think the south one, the north one is, I don't think, is it even in Cannon Beach?
Technically, the old one's not.
The old one was not,
Yeah.
right? The one down south here, I think was.
I
on
think
that
the one
little-
down south is subject to DRB also, so there's a lot of different things, but it's definitely a project that people wanna see. happen.
Yes,
100%.
I think we're the only community between here and Yachts that does not have one.
I think you're right.
that's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All part of our park management.
Say that again.
That's part of our park
Parking
management plan.
Oh, I thought you were like saying, oh, so somebody
I was
else
fine.
owns it?
That's how it's lying on the radar. It's not
You
looking
you
well.
don't know we're here. I'm trying to find it.
I get it now. We're under the radar, don't count.
I'm sorry, I need to run, thank you.
Adios.
Thank you for your
Thanks for the info.
See you, Judy.
Oh, yeah. With a Jeep on.
But I agree, I mean, I don't know, if I would find a sign as public art, but I kind of consider that it is.
It totally is.
Yeah, and that would be another one, you know, that if this is adopted, that TAC kind of really takes it in the hand and saying whether it's a, you know, collaborative thing for all local artists or any artist, or if it's an RFP that it's one person wins or whatever, it's something that has absolutely been kicked down the road for years. And as a committee, I think we would have the ability to kind of, one, have the funding behind it, and two, the policy is, if they start to say this is, you know, we can help move forward.
I think it has to be one person, it can be a competition, but otherwise you end up with art by committee.
And that doesn't work.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's always a disaster. Yeah, what's the old saying, it's the camel's a horse that was designed by a committee.
Yeah.
Well, you need one person doing the art, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you can have a competition,
Gotcha.
you know, and have proposals. But I would not get a committee of artists together and say,
No.
"Well, design something."
No, gotcha.
No.
That's a problem.
Bunch of rules.
I think it's been kicked down since the chamber returned the money to us. I think it was just sort of like, who wants to touch that hot potato?
Yeah, well, and even before that, a few years went by, the chamber, they finally said, we'll try it, and we'll do it or whatever.
Right.
But that, nothing had happened, because it was, you know, the sign hadn't completely fallen down, but I think South one did a couple years before the North one.
Yeah.
So there was some time lapse. And it wasn't the most artistic of signs to begin with.
No. And hard to read in the rain, which is like,
Yeah.
it needs to be readable in the rain, during the day and at night. Oh, boy. And then I mean, literally the packet from ODOT with this thing
Yeah.
of what you can and can't do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to take that one on. I just feel like. You wanna take that on, Tom? Is that your favorite project?
I do.
Oh my God, I'm so a crazy person.
Oh my
Hey,
God. I think it needs to get done.
Get done, because like Greg said, we're the only community that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Down 101, we see, even little places like Wheeler got.
Oh, Wheeler's got a
They've
brand
got,
new
they've got
one.
brand new, yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And they had like a funky one for a while that fell down, like made out of like chicken wire and stuff.
Tillamook has a nice one too.
I like
Newer.
Manzanitas. Manzanitas like rugged. I love the little seagulls
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like Manzanita.
And so does Seaside. I have to say, it's not us, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is
Seaside.
on target branding
Yeah.
right there, both of those signs. are
Okay.
perfect.
They repurposed some of the. No,
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
And we'd have to like come up with like, cause you don't wanna make anybody super angry. That's like, oh, we got somebody else from, I don't know, Hillsborough or something, so. Have to really consider.
Well, I mean,
Who
you
made
kind of
those?
stay with this policy that says that we try to
Yeah.
encourage North Coast.
Yeah.
first.
Who made the last ones, I mean, yeah.
No.
it's probably there for decades before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seemed to me that once this is validated and,
Yeah.
and becomes not an ordinance, but a resolution. You know,
Yeah.
that's then one of the first ones out of the gate is calling all artists or however RFP, however you wanna do it, comes from this committee to say, sign from the first project. Or
Yeah.
the piece of art in front of the, city hall was one of the first projects, or, you know, we decide that as we go, but it was, to me, those would both make sense.
That's a good idea, once this is in code.
Yeah, and once
There you
that,
go.
you know, we can work on it, talk about it, and discuss it up until then, but until then, it's really not, that's the policy of the.
Yeah.
You know, and other projects, these bike rack things or what have you come up, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else, anything else? Jackie?
Nope, I'm good.
Good. All right, from an agenda perspective, I think we have hit we already did the plans for 2026, and that was the discussion on the public art policy. So unless there's anything else, we can just open it up to the good of the order. Huh? We're still one person down on the committee, and that's out there. Has there been any?
There hasn't been anything, I'm gonna, refresh the notice, because I think I need to make it on a different committee, and then we'll repost and kind of get it out, you know, we try to do it a little bit more often, we've been kind of behind on things, so we're gonna, I think I have 2 positions on one of the other committees now, I'm gonna update that, we'll repost, share, talk to people. See what we can find, there's several other people there's a meeting that they're trying to launch over there, and then it's just not, we will get that reposted and hopefully we can find another person.
Yeah.
There was,
I know someone who's interested.
I did too.
yeah,
Is it the same person?
Sierra.
Oh, it was summer. It's just like 1, 2, 3. Oh.
Mine's Sierra.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
All right, anything else from the good of the order? Then we will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Wait, look at that, right on 1 hour. We'll adjourn, call the meeting closed, and thank you very much.